and scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Friday.
VOP TV now.
And thanks for joining us on Political Lens. I am Chukwuma Okoro. Now, today is the 31st day of December 2025. It is the last day of the year. And but I have, for my guest here, it is his first time of appearing in Political Lens. I think luck ran out of him, and I ran into luck. I chased him all year round, and I couldn't get him. But on Monday, he submitted himself to me and said, look, I'm going to be on your show on Wednesday. That is on the 31st day of December 2025. And I'm happy to welcome him to my show. Welcome, Prince Francis Chilaka. Thanks for having you on my show.
Chukuma, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I appreciate your presence.
Oh, welcome.
Good to have you. Now, on the show today, 2025 in retrospect, biggest stories that define the year. First of all, declaration of the state of emergency in Rivers State. Biafra agitator Nnamdi Kanu sentenced to life in prison. And Trump hits terrorist camp in Nigeria. We'll also talk about new tax law that has divided Nigerians. Well, but before we get into the conversation, there is breaking news. Now we hear that Mr. Peter Obi has formally declared for the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Labour Party's presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Mr. Peter Obi, along with other political leaders from the Southeast geopolitical zone, has officially declared for the African Democratic Congress, ADC. The leaders gathered in Enugu, the capital city of Enugu State, on Wednesday to make the declaration. They stated that after months of consultations, they had decided to join the ADC and collaborate with other opposition leaders from across the country to rescue Nigeria from the poor governance of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Well, those present at the event included former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives and former Governor of Imo State, Emeka Ihedioha, Senators Ben Obi, Victor Ume, Tony Nwoye, and Gilbert Nnaji. Others are Chief Onyema Ugochukwu, Enyinnaya Baribe, Senator Sam Egwu, as well as several other senators and members of the House of Representatives. Other party leaders from across the country were also in attendance, including former Senate President and National Chairman of the ADC, Senator David Bonaventure Mark, former Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal, former governors from the Southeast, and other dignitaries. In his speech at the event, Peter Obi said the move to ADC marks the beginning of the journey to rescue the country from the APC. Today is an important day. Quoting Peter Obi now, today is the last day of 2025, so we are ending this year with the hope that in 2026, we will begin a journey of the rescue of our country for proper socioeconomic development that will be unifying and inclusive. We have all watched those who benefited from our democracy sometime now become accessories to destroying our democracy, either through coercion and gangsterism against the opposition. We cannot allow this to happen. We'll resist it. Now, Peter Obi said, we'll resist rigging in 2027. The former Anambra State governor also vowed that the opposition will resist any attempt to rig the 2027 election, warning the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to strictly follow the rules and regulations. And we are saying that those who are planning to rig elections in Nigeria come 2027 will resist it by every means lawful and legitimate. This happens because we have weak institutions like INEC, which we are urging to act properly in the coming election. We must do whatever it takes to follow the rules and regulations, starting from educational qualification for eligibility to contest or seek any election. We can no longer be in a situation where they are asking whether this person went to school or not. We have 1 year now to determine who went to school and who didn't go to school, he said. Obi emphasized the need for unity among the opposition, asserting that Nigeria needs competent leadership to turn the tide of current disunity in the country. He also faulted the federal government's tax reform policies, saying they are hostile to people and detrimental to economic growth. Well, Peter Obi joins other political heavyweights such as Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi, Nasiru El-Rufai, among others, who earlier in the year declared for the ADC, setting the stage for a political battle to wrest power from the APC in 2027. The Prince, Good to have you again, sir. Now, what's your reaction to this long-awaited news? Long-awaited in the sense that there's been speculations here. I had a discussion with you on this the other time, and you were like, he was coming, and I didn't see it coming. So let's have your broad reaction.
Well, you know, it's better late than never.
Okay.
And I've always told people, even though Nigerians have come up with this notion that the patient dog doesn't see any bone to eat anymore, but I think for us to get it right in this country, every political gladiator must be patient, must have a staying spirit, and must be willing to take that decision when it matters most. And for me, P2B has taken the decision when it matters most. I've heard, like after the declaration, I've got so many people calling, he has jumped party again. He couldn't resolve the issue in Labour Party.
Okay.
And I told them, I said, you guys seem not to understand that the crisis in Labour Party cannot be resolved by P2B. P2B is not one of the, member of the National Working Committee of the party. He was just a flag bearer of the party. And his position ends after the elections. So he cannot tell him to, P2B cannot be someone in the meeting of the Labour Party.
As a leader of the party?
No, he's not the leader of the party.
He's not a leader. As a presidential candidate, as a former presidential candidate.
It has ended. That's why you call him former. It has ended.
No, what I mean is that he should have some form of political weight to throw around the party.
No, the only time P2B would have been powerful was if he was elected as the president.
Okay.
Then he becomes the national, global, international leader of the party. But you see, the way political parties are structured, and that's why we all need voters' education, we all need electoral education, we need to inform Nigerian people. The way political parties are structured, the highest ranking elected officer in the state and at the national level is the leader of the party. Today, if you talk of APC, for instance, the leader of the party is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The next person is Eshetima.
Okay.
Then you now have the party chairman. You bring it down to the state. For instance, let's take Lagos State, for example.
Okay.
The leader of the party in Lagos State is Sanwo-Olu, then the chairman. So it's going to be difficult for anybody who is not in that capacity to be the one to...
Okay, so talking about the Labour Party now, who is the national leader of the party?
Well, that is where the crisis is.
Okay.
Then Hadi Usman is claiming
No, I'm not talking about the national chairman. I'm talking about national leader. In terms of
national leader is not constitutional in any political party.
Okay, but
you remember that even President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at one time said that being a national leader of the party, he had no influence. He couldn't influence anything in the party because it's not recognized. It's just a title you take upon yourself. Maybe because you've been there, you've done so many things, but there is nothing like national leader in any political party. What you have is national chairman, national secretary, chairman board of trustees.
Okay, so how will we describe Alex Otti? What is Alex Otti's position in the Labour Party?
In the Labour Party today, if you ask, he's the most senior ranking person. So is he?
He should be.
He should be, yes. So he's in charge of, he's the leader of the party.
Now, when you say that no time is late to do the right thing, no time is wrong to do the right thing, in terms of Peter Obi entering the ADC at the time he did, a lot of people believe that with the long way that he has lost a lot of political capital, especially with the obedient movement, which happens to be his strength and his mainstay. You see the director of mobilization resigned the other time. We also saw Kenneth Okonkwo leave. A couple of other people left. So that loss, will it not affect his...
Those when you say they leave, those who left, of what value are they to the obedience?
The national director of mobilization.
Of what value? The obedience they're not political party. They're not affiliated to any political party. P2B is the obedient. You have obedience because of P2B. It's not because of Labour Party.
No, but one man cannot make a forest.
What Labour Party really wanted initially was for P2B to collapse the obedient into Labour Party. But it was a very right decision he made, not doing that. So Labour Party, as far as we are concerned, the obedience are on their own.
Okay.
Wherever P2B goes, That is where the obedience
Because
goes.
that was the declaration they made sometime in the past. They say wherever Obi goes, that's where.
It is this is when you say obedient, it's Obi.
Okay.
It's not Labour Party.
So you think that the obedient movement is still strong,
We are
vibrant and active?
We are very strong.
Oh, you are.
I am a member.
Oh,
Yes,
you
I
are
am.
obedient.
I am obedient. Yes.
Beautiful, really.
I believe in due process.
Okay.
And I believe that it is time we begin to look at people who contest for elections. We look at their pedigree. We look at their qualifications. We can't keep doing the wrong thing and expecting a good answer. You can't.
Okay. All right. Now, Prince, now we see Obi formally declare for the ADC. And we also know that Atiku Abubakar is there. Rotimi Amechi has said, look, I'm not ready to serve as spare tire to anybody. I'm looking for that number one shirt. And apparently that is what Peter Obi is looking for. There is this kind of, larger than life image, this aura that has been built around the ADC over Atiku Abubakar. And so what do you think will happen in the coming
I just
days?
think it's people who work for Atiku that are doing that, and then the media. There's so much propaganda going on, and the people in front of this propaganda are APC. The truth is that ADC is a vehicle of people coming together to say we need to rescue this country. And like I've always said, if ADC will not even make the mistake that PDP made in 2023.
Which is?
That was a gross mistake. Knowing that the late Buhari had been there for 8 years. There is this unconstitutional gentleman agreement, which started with PDP. And other parties now started emulating it. And what's the agreement? The agreement is 8 years north, 8 years south. So in trying to truncate that arrangement, you're going to have a problem. And the way Nigeria is today, it will be madness, total madness, for ADC to think of putting up another candidate.
Okay.
I mean,
that will mean to take power back to the north.
It will be actually breaking that gentleman agreement. And then if you do that, if ADC does that, you have a protest vote.
The agreement that was broken in 2011, you might say.
Well, I don't know whether it was broken, but it's still there.
Okay.
Because if it's not there, you wouldn't have a Miloko coming out in 2023.
Okay.
So, but the thing is that if ADC makes that same mistake that PDP made, it will hit them well.
All right. Now, Prince, we see a horde of leaders from the Southeast move to ADC with Peter Obi. Is that some form of regional endorsement, or what do you see coming?
It's not, you won't call it
very
regional.
Big names. Ben Obi.
Yes, you won't call it regional.
Baribe, Tony Nwoye, Onyemugo Chukwu. I can go on and on.
You can't call it regional.
Okay.
It's just that people want to associate with, everyone wants to associate with something good. Even you, the way you are, you want to associate with something that is good. You want to associate with a name that makes sense, and a name that people will want to participate. So I think the thing is that a lot of people have been waiting for Peter Obi to make this move, for them to also know where they stand. So and like if you listen to Peter Obi, he said after months of consultation. So
after months of, I was coming to that. That after months of consultation looks pregnant. To the extent that there's been this rumor that that the North might just endorse Peter Obi, and probably because the North also doesn't want to torpedo the peaceful arrangement of North and South. Exactly. And so, but if they want to take out the APC, they also look for somebody from the South to do that for them. Because if power goes back to the North halfway, it will be some kind of upset, and it might just cause some kind of turbulence. So does it look like, is this what gives some people like you the reason to think that Atiku might not actually be on the ballot?
I think Atiku is getting to that point where he wants to be recognized as a patriot. I think he's gotten to that level. He's gotten to that point where he wants to be recognized as a patriot. And you can't have everybody telling you, sir, you can't go, sir, you can't go, sir, you can't go. And you say, if you cook for the community will finish it. But if the community cooks for you, you can't finish it.
I had a bet with you on this. You have been insisting that Atiku wouldn't be on the ballot.
Yes.
And though there's no figure, but we are going to try a figure to it after the show. Now, Prince, when we look at what happened in 2023, if we have to very powerful presidential candidates come from the south, one from the southeast and one from the southwest, in terms of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Peter Obi. You know, the southeast, southwest, mistrust, divide, and all of that. And if you put it within the context of what happened in Lagos State in 2023, where people from the southeast were practically, you know, prevented from voting. Despite that, that was after the presidential election, which there was a major upset and Peter Obi, you know, took the lead in Lagos here. Will you see a situation where there might be some kind of pushback or rebound of violence against the Southeasterners? Looking at, oh, you people want to truncate a Southwestern presidency. Is there a possibility
we're running a democratic system. Okay. And in democracy, everybody has a freedom. Association, freedom to belong to whichever political party you want to belong. Freedom to vote whoever you want to vote. And I think it will be completely madness and stupidity for anyone with the way Nigeria is today to begin to think of disenfranchising anyone.
No, but we see it happen. You know Sego, Mustafa, certain Mustafa of the the person that replaced the MCO role.
Yes.
Said, look, sometime I think that was in May, June. Say, look, if you dare vote against the APC, we'll deal with you.
Well, you know, I don't believe in violence.
Okay.
But I can assure you that violence begets violence. And I know that people have become wiser. The 2023 scenario, I personally lost a friend of mine. He was pushed in his own compound, in his house.
Oh dear.
And the man died. That's not what we are known for. The divide and rule you have among Nigerians today, the hatred that is building among Nigerians today, is because of the politicians. And the Nigerian people need to wake up from their sleep. All those who collected money to vote in 2023, where are they today? Are they not suffering what everybody is suffering? Is anybody spared from what is going on in Nigeria? Some of them who collected 5,000, 10,000, and all of that, they're in Band A. They've been forced into Band A. Have they been able to get out of it? Their children go to school. Are they paying different school fees? We all take public transport. Are they paying? Is there any particular filling station designed for those who decide in their lives to become thugs and fighters for politicians? No. So we all go to the same market. We all suffer the same thing. And that is why it is important for people to know when you are voting in 2027, know who you're voting for, know the character of the person you're voting for.
Okay.
You saw what is happening in Edo State. You see what is happening in Edo State between Pedro Obaseki and Oba Obini and the governor. You saw the other guy. What happened to the guy in UK, where a titled man who calls himself a prince went and was embarrassing himself on social media, just because of you want to be found in the good books of the politicians. But in that same Edo State, Benin bypass is not go area. There are no roads. So it brings us back to the issue of those who have decamped from their various parties to APC, the governors who have decamped. What do they have to show for it?
Okay, all right. Prince, I know that Peter Obi's declaration for ADC is a developing story. And by next year, for any time from tomorrow, ADC says they are going to hold 2 conventions, primaries, and we'll now know who will be the candidate of the ADC. And the Prince said, well, it now tells you to vote for the right person because who you vote for will determine the kind of life you live anytime from 2027. Now, let's get into the measures. 2025 will end today, but we will not forget the year in a hurry because of the many defining moments it threw up, ranging from politics, economy, human development, insecurity, and foreign affairs. In all that happened, a few big stories came out from the cacophony of sounds laced with fury, anger, shock, and desperation. We singled out a few of those stories and they will form our major topics of discussion as a wrap on political lens for 2025. Well, not in a sequence of occurrence or a definition of priority. There was a declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. Rivers State was thrown into national focus following the declaration of a state of emergency, a move that sparked intense political debate and public concern. Well, supporters argued that it was necessary to restore order, while critics warned it could undermine democracy, federalism, and the will of the people in one of Nigeria's most strategic political states. The Prince, I have not spoken with you since the Supreme Court delivered its judgment, on this. And so the judgment was belated. So how will you describe what happened in Rivers State and the judgment of the Supreme Court on the suit filed by the PDP governors?
When the whole shenanigans started in Rivers State, I saw it coming. I saw that they were heading towards the declaration of a state of emergency. And a lot of us predicted it, and it happened. The reason given by government for that declaration is completely unacceptable. You say you're protecting, there was going to be a breakdown of law, and there was breakdown of law and order. You're protecting the pipelines. And then I ask, are the pipelines worth more than the humans? And in all the meetings, in all the press releases by Mr. President, even all the meetings he called, there was one fundamental thing that Mr. President failed to address. And he has not addressed it up till tomorrow.
Okay.
And that is the role played by Wike in what played out in Rivers State.
Okay, so what will you have wanted the president to do?
No. At that
the
point
president called for, there was a peace meeting between the president, between both gladiators.
That peace meeting, for me, and the agreement reached at that time, was just, for me, it was hopeless. It was just like, you invite your son and you sit him down and you dictate to him and you tell him, go and do this, and you walk out. Okay. You do not settle problem by taking sides.
You think that the president?
No, the president did. It was very obvious.
How so?
The president did. It was very obvious that he took sides. Even when the courts supported the declaration of a state of emergency, they also took sides. All through the judgment, it was all about what Fubara did. But nobody talked about what led to what he did.
At no point was Wike mentioned in the suit.
That's the point. But Wike was the one that was in front.
I'm talking about the people that went to court. No. They didn't join him, did they?
It's not.
So how would they have mentioned him?
You see, with time we come up with this excuse, that you were not mentioned, that you didn't do this. Okay, the court will say, we don't give you what you didn't ask for.
Okay.
But the court must also realize that there are certain things you don't do. And that is where the human face comes in.
When the court says we don't give you what you didn't ask for, but we saw in the Supreme Court case where the court even went ahead to adjudicate on a matter that was not before
so
it.
That is what I'm saying.
Lawmakers.
That is what I'm saying. In one breath, the court will tell you, you didn't ask for this. In another breath, you saw different judgments. It was like Nigeria was on a pressure pot, pressure cooker, Nigeria was just bubbling. Everybody had a say. And that issue up to tomorrow has not been addressed.
Talking about addressing the issues, I'd like to make reference to what we talked about, the peace deal, where the president practically dictated to Fubara, you go and do this, you go and do this, you go and do this. Now, do you see, are there repercussions arising from that dictation? Because we see,
when those things,
looks like both gladiators are back to the trenches.
So when those, you don't beat a child and tell the child not to cry. And Okoro, you remember, I've always said that any peace devoid of justice is peace of the graveyard. When Fubara came back from that suspension, first of all, the role the National Assembly played in that suspension. And that's why I'm also one of those saying that it is time to end this voice vote. We need to know who voted for what in the National Assembly. So that when you come back as a senator, we can look you in the face and say to you, this bill, this is what you did, or this is what you said. But when you say voice vote, nobody knows who voted. The A's have it, and that's the end. And so you have a National Assembly, where you look like you have kindergartens. Or yet you have men and women who are meant to be referred to as men and women and honor and proven integrity. But you don't have that. So the way it is now, I'm sure the National Assembly is happy because everybody has come to, all the senators, almost all of them, are coming to.
They already have a majority in the.
So tell me, what is the oversight function of the National Assembly? You saw your judiciaries when you show your barristers and your lawyers when they went for their bar convention. Right? I mean, rather than sing the national anthem, a national anthem that was horridly foisted on the Nigerian people. Even in the Senate, they don't sing it. What do they sing? On your mandate we stand.
The judges said that they were not singing, that they were just miming.
They were not singing.
They were miming.
Okay, so what we saw on TV makes us stupid. It makes us. They're trying to tell us that we're stupid.
No, that's the defense.
Were they supposed to mime in the first place? Wouldn't they have?
No, the question would be.
Wouldn't they have been able to stop
the person that played the song?
Wouldn't they have been
to play that song?
The person who employed him. You don't bring a DJ to your event without controlling what he does. So even if the DJ intones the wrong music, why did they stop it?
What is the implication of judges singing on your mandate? It
simply means that they are compromised. That is what it means. I can't be singing your song if I'm not compromised.
Prince, let's go back to Rivers State. Now, we see a lot happening in Rivers State these days. The governor is talking tough. If you want to support the president, don't follow Kona. And the other party says, look, we are not the leader of the APC in Rivers State. And we see the governor, more like, the governor looks like, the House of Assembly. I am no longer afraid. He's been giving Martin Zamenhoul a very heavy knocks recently.
No, see.
So what do you think is happening?
When we started talking about Labour Party,
okay,
we started talking about the leadership of the party and about P2P not controlling what was happening. I told you, I said, the highest standing man in Rivers today, as far as APC is concerned, is a Fubara. There is no way the president will bypass Fubara today and go to the speaker. As far as the party structure is concerned.
I want to create a scenario in Rivers State. We have 23 local government areas. Out of those 23, 20 are APC.
Mm-hmm.
This APC, you know how they came about. We can move the 20 of them from the PDP to the APC. They contested elections and won. Now we can reserve 3, including his own local government, Obiakpo, for the PDP. And I'm pretty sure that in a moment, anytime
they will join because the governor is now in APC.
Good. Now we have 23 APC, 20 of them loyal. In fact, 23 of them loyal to Nyesom Monkey, FCT minister. If you go to the House of Assembly, they have 31. Out of these 31, 17 of them effectively decamped to the APC. The other remaining 14 are still in the PDP. Now, something happened on the 25th. Wives of the 31 House of Assembly members contributed money, bought gifts, and presented to Nyesom Wike. The state chairman of the APC is one Tony Okocha, Wike's Man Friday. Grassroots politics. Who is in control of Rivers APC? Okay,
you may think that with all of that, the Wike is in charge. The Wike is not a member of APC.
Okay,
he's a what they call tombo fly. He has not come out to declare. If Wike decides to join APC today, who will welcome him into APC?
Well, we have seen the national chairman could do that. We saw the national chairman welcome Fubara into APC.
No, even if the national chairman is not there, Fubara will be there.
The state chairman will be there.
The state chairman cannot.
Okay.
Fubara will be there. Good. Okay. See, let us be very honest with ourselves. The whole issue of the suspension of democratic governance I'm sure even Mr. President rejects, if he reflects seriously, he regrets that action. But knowing what leaders are, they would never say it in the open. But I'm sure that if he looks back, he will regret that action. Why? Because, I'll tell you why. Because he was also one of those who opposed it vehemently during Jonathan's life.
But he served his purpose this time.
I'm coming. Okay. He opposed it. I said, if retrospect, he reflects on it. In his quiet moment, he regrets that action. Now, if we have ended everything about...
I'm sorry, Prince.
I'm coming.
I'm sorry. Does it look like the president? Does it look like a man who cares?
As a president, you must show to the public that you don't care.
Okay.
We all do that.
Okay.
But in our quiet moments, we know what we go through.
Conscience.
We fight our demons.
Okay.
Now, in all of that, it has happened, it has gone. And I'll tell you this, for Fubara to declare for APC, there were discussions and there were meetings. And if you recall, those meetings were between him and Mr. President, who is the leader of the party. So now that Fubara is in the party, if you recall, the day he was being welcomed into the party, you saw the Okocha jumping all over the place. You saw him declaring that he is now the number one. So politicians talk from two sides of the mouth.
Apparently, your position is that the political plates are gradually shifting in favor of the state.
It has shifted.
Not
It
gradually.
has shifted
completely.
See, forget whatever anybody is doing.
Okay.
If care is not, if even the speaker knows that Fubara can decide whether he will get the ticket or not.
Now that's scary. Now, Prince, let's get into our second big story. After about 10 years of trial, a life sentence was handed to Nnamdi Kanu by High Court, and it reignited deep national conversations around justice, separatist agitations, and national unity. Reactions poured in from across Nigeria and the international community, while questions were raised about the process, security implications, and the future of agitation in the Southeast. Prince, did the sentence on Nnamdi Kanu come to you as a surprise?
No.
Okay, you saw it coming.
I saw it coming.
Did you see death sentence or life sentence?
No, I didn't see a death sentence, but I saw a life sentence.
Okay.
I saw a sentence that would make sure he's incapacitated. That's what I saw. I knew it was coming. I know that all the issues with the former Binta Nyako and all of that was because they were just looking for who would do the job. So everybody knew it was coming. Well, you see, there are issues the federal government up to tomorrow has not been able to clear. And I think it is something that they need to clear. We need to know who kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya.
And do you think the federal government will ever release that?
They should.
To them, it could be classified information.
No, this is where, if you see, when you talk about reconciliation means you must put everything out. So when you talk about reconciliation, we need to do it well and do it like human beings. We need to know who and who. Well, you know, Nigeria, it is when those involved, maybe when they are at the point of death, they write their book. Or when they know that, even if you arrest them, they have become vegetative, they will not write a book trying to tell you, this is what happened, this is it. But we all know that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya into Nigeria. And why is it that nobody wants to address that? Why?
Prince, talking about reconciliation, will it be better, to start a reconciliation process by addressing the very issues that led to this agitation?
Mr. Koro,
than to let Nigerians know who renditioned the Nnamdi Kanu. Which one should come first?
Mr. Koro, I've always said, and I'll keep saying it, that if we had sane governance, and good governance, agitations will not arise. First and foremost, the reason why you have this agitation is even the failure of the leaders of the Southeast.
Leaders of the South?
I put it on there, yes. They are culpable. For every agitation that comes out of the Southeast, they are culpable. But I have always said that, before we attack the federal, let us address the state and the local government. I sit here today and I'll tell you, Okoro, all the airports they're building in the Southeast, we don't need it. These are white elephant projects where we don't need it.
Bring development
We don't
closer to the
need
people.
it. No, we don't need them. How many people travel? How many people have the money to travel by air? How many people? In all these states where you are building airports, how many of their citizens?
But at least those people that have the money
How
can,
many of
can
see,
take
Okoro,
advantage of the proximity of the airport.
if the governors in the Southeast want to be honest, want to be sincere, and want to develop the Southeast, they will not be talking about airports. They'll be talking about train network. They'll be talking about train. So if you stay in Ebonyi, for instance, and you have a train to catch by, say, 10 o'clock in Owerri, the train will not take up to 1 hour to get to Owerri. It will save a lot of money. That train network will bring enormous development into the Southeast. It will. And it will, it will touch the lives of the ordinary people. So the leadership flaw and failure in the Southeast to start with is why you have the agitations.
No, does that absorb federal government from responsibility?
You didn't hear what I said. I said,
Okay,
let us start
that
from,
is where we start
from.
Okay.
Now, when you bring it to the federal level, you ask yourself, in terms of the federal government, how many institutions, what is the presence of the federal government in the Southeast?
And that is the problem.
So these are the agitations. These are the agitations. You've heard people say, oh, there's an arrangement that the Southeast cannot get to the level of being a president. And you ask yourself, why would that be? Why is the Igbo man in Nigeria marginalized? And why is it that we have a country where we say that the unity of the country is not negotiable? When you know that the amalgamation, how many Nigerians were there? Mention one Nigerian that was there during the amalgamation.
Now, have you heard some quarters say, look, the amalgamation was for 100 years, that it has even expired, that it's expired.
That is what we'll be hearing. But we'll be hearing it. So why is it that those who hurriedly put up Decree 24 and turned it into a constitution, why did they expunge referendum from it? Even in marriage, even in arranging marriage, even in marriage you take your leg and you go and marry a wife. You cannot say it is not negotiable. Because we're humans. We all have our different ideas and everything.
Prince, what's the way out?
The way out is that we need to sit on the round table. The way out for Nigeria is to look at that 2029 constitution and abolish that document. We need to abolish that document to ensure that, yes, we are ready to move forward. Because if you have that document the way it is, that document you have is not helping this country to develop.
Okay, now, Prince, has the sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu doused tension and insecurity in the Southeast? Nnamdi is in prison, Simon Ekpa is in prison.
Before the sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu, let us be honest with ourselves. The sit at home in the Southeast was already fizzling out. You see, but there's something that's very worrisome about that sit at home in the Southeast. Okoro, if you are traveling from Benin to Owerri, from Sunday to, except Mondays, you will see checkpoints. Police, army, road safety, customs, immigration, all of them. Why do they disappear on Mondays? Are they not trying to tell us that the non-state actors are more powerful than the government officials, are more powerful than the Nigerian army or Nigerian police, why do they abandon those checkpoints on Mondays? And who asks them, who gives them instruction not to go out on Mondays? So the reason why you don't really see people on Mondays, it's not just about the sit at home, it's because of fear of the unknown. As you and I sit today, nobody has been able to tell us who the unknown gunmen are. But these are guys who caused mayhem and terror in the Southeast. Who are they? Where are they from? So for us to move forward, Okoro, we need to sit on the round table. We need to look ourselves in the eyes and say, this marriage, is it working?
How soon do you think that could happen?
It's something
because we have both centripetal and centrifugal forces. Some people are saying, look, we need to stay together. Others are saying, no, we need to go apart. How soon do you think that we can?
It's something that has,
sitting on a round table. In 1995, Abacha did one. In 2004, Obasanjo did one. In 2014, Jonathan did one. And all of these billions of naira sunk into those places.
It's something that we need to do urgently if we love this country. A few days back, I saw some people calling themselves Hausa, saying that they no longer want to be put on the same Hausa Fulani, and they want Fulani to be treated separately. They want to be treated separately. These are all agitations. You saw what happened with. You saw what the ones who are agitating in the Southwest, and they want to do Dua Republic. So these agitations will be there as long as injustice prevails.
Okay. So what the government is to put people to bring together everybody and discuss how we can, how this union will survive.
When you say you have a constitution that says we the Nigerian people, Okoro, please, at what point did you get involved in that constitution?
Well, the military gave it to us.
So if we say that the military government is the worst, that the worst democracy is better than a military government, why are we still holding on to the appendages of the military?
Well, some people still believe that Nigerian military has done better than democracies in Nigeria.
Well, I think I want to support that too.
Okay.
Yes, I want to support that. Because when you look at infrastructures, you find out that they have built more infrastructures.
Okay, so if they built infrastructures and they gave us a constitution, why can't we just run with the constitution?
No, if they gave us
the problem is with the operators.
No, if they gave us a constitution, if they gave us a constitution, are we not supposed to sit back after they have gone to review it?
Okay, that's what you are calling for now.
Yes, that document needs to be looked into.
And that document.
See, let me tell you my first glance with that document.
Okay.
I'm going. 1 second. You have a document that allows you to decamp from one party to another, and yet you hold the position of the party you're decamping from. That is why our democracy is crumbling. So you just have people, you have politicians who have no...
The Supreme Court said something which is quite confusing. The Supreme Court says if you decamp from a political party until your name appears in the register of the political party you are going to, you still have no decamp.
Mr.
So you see people leave one party in principle.
Mr. Okoro, the Supreme Court is also, like I said, the judiciary is a problem in Nigeria today, whether we like it or not. That is why when they make pronouncements, I know when they make pronouncements, you find lawyers trying to interpret. It wasn't like this before.
Okay.
Everybody now interprets the judgment to suit them, and then the judges will keep quiet. That is wrong. You should be able to give a judgment that anybody that picks it knows what you're saying and follows it.
I think the law has always been like that, because way back in university, I had a lecturer who told me that, look, the justice is the will of the stronger party, and that is what we see here. Now, let's move on. Trump sees terrorist camp in Nigeria. Reports of U.S. military strikes on a terrorist camp in Nigeria raised serious concerns about sovereignty, security cooperation, and foreign intervention. While the development has triggered mixed reactions, with some welcoming decisive action against terror groups, while others questioned the circumstances, consent, and long-term implications for Nigeria's national security. Nigerians also are worried that they have a government that relied on a foreign power to fight insecurity, despite the availability of men, money, and materials that could have taken care of that challenge. The Prince, did you see Trump coming after the threat of guns ablazing?
I mean, everybody knew what's going to happen.
I didn't know.
No, why wouldn't you? Trump doesn't just say things. It's not like our Nigerian leaders.
I was pretty surprised because I've always known that Nigeria, Africa, has never been priority in America's foreign policy.
Wait, let me say something. You know, when Trump said what he said, a lot of things played out. And I saw those things as, mockery. And I saw them as falsehood. I started seeing a lot of Nigerians doing podcasts, doing videos, saying, Nigeria is a sovereign nation. We are patriotic, this and all of that. And I said, okay, you guys can do this. But what have you guys done all this while? That these so-called bandits, Boko Haram, whatever, were killing and slaughtering people. What have they done? And then all of a sudden you see everybody saying, it's not genocide. That was when you started hearing a different story. And Northerners are also being killed. And then the question is, who are killing these Northerners? If you say Muslims are being killed, who are killing these Muslims? So the thing is that a lot of us knew that something was going to happen, but the federal government tried everything possible to halt it, but they couldn't. So
you think that the federal government did everything possible to halt it?
They did it.
But they said they provided intelligence.
Well, that is afterthought with that one.
Okay, now, Prince, with the U.S. intervention in Nigeria, has it taken away from Nigeria's national security?
In what way?
That's what I'm asking. Has
in
it?
What way? You see, that's why I said it was all hypocrisy.
Intelligence.
Let me tell you,
intelligence. Now, if we are to question the value of intelligence, the Nigerian government said we provided intelligence, and we are asking, if you had all this intelligence,
why didn't you
use them? So a lot of Nigerians saying that, look, they didn't have that intelligence. See, or that if they had, they were complicit in not using it. So,
you know that it was hours after the strike and after Donald Trump has tweeted before your government responded.
So that gives you the impression that they were unaware.
No, because if the government, they may have called them at the last minute. But the thing is that if they were part of it, knowing this administration that loves propaganda, this administration that loves taking credit, they would have blown it out of proportion. They may not have said where it was going to happen, but they would have told you that we are already finalizing. We didn't have to wait for Donald Trump to tweet before we knew that something happened.
Now, with this action of Donald Trump and United States, has it prompted a renewed commitment on the part of Nigeria to fight this insecurity? Because we hear pockets of killing of terrorists, bandits here and there. Has it prompted them into some form of renewed commitment?
The first tweet then prompted it, and the government was doing everything humanly possible to erase that notion that it is a genocide, and they could have done it.
Okay, but if not for
the intervention that Dwayne Omokore wanted to make.
Okay, so the federal government wanted to create an alibi because at some point some people said, they went and kidnapped Christian schoolgirls. After a week or so, they brought them back just to create the impression that, look, Christians are also safe. We heard the president on December 25th say, I'm going to protect people of all faiths.
Okoro, you raised a very pertinent question. The kidnap of those children. Please, for the sake of humanity, when those children were kidnapped, who are the kidnappers? When they got released, what happened to those who kidnapped them? And in which bush were they kept?
Well, the national security.
That none of them. We're talking of children. Okay, we're talking of children. Who was feeding them? What were they being fed on? Who was taking care of their needs?
Prince, we're out of time. Nigeria's newly introduced tax law has sharply divided public opinion, with citizens, businesses, and lawmakers expressing opposing views. While the government insists the reforms are vital, well-intentioned for economic stability and growth, critics argue that the law places additional burdens on struggling Nigerians amid rising inflation and economic decline. while opposition parties and figures have called on the government to suspend the implementation of the law pending the resolution of the controversies around the clauses that were smuggled in by yet-to-be-known persons. However, the president and his handlers have insisted that no amount of pressure will stop the take-off of the new tax regime in Nigeria. Prince, I would like for you to wrap this up with your concluding thoughts because we are out of time.
You know, any leader that doesn't listen to the people is not worth the salt. We always say that the voice of the people is the voice of God, isn't it? Now, there's an issue, and this is democracy. And the people are saying there is something fundamentally wrong with this. A listening government would sit back and first of all address those issues. People are not opposing the tax because they don't want to pay tax, or they don't want the innovation that comes with it. People are saying the ones you'll be collecting before now, what have you been doing with them? You said subsidy is gone. You said you were going to use the savings from the subsidy in key infrastructure. Where is the infrastructure? Where has the money gone to? Why is it that nobody is giving us an account of what we need? So for me, I think Mr. President is just being too difficult.
Okay, do you expect any form
Mr.
of
President,
resistance?
No, I expect Mr. President to listen to the voice of the people.
I mean, on the part of the people, do you expect any form of resistance from tomorrow?
The other one have told you that they will not pay it. And that's where the resistance will start from.
Okay.
When those who are meant
How would they do that? Because it's supposed to be deducted from source.
The bank has no right to deduct money from your account. You know that.
Okay.
We know that. And no bank will do that.
Okay, no bank will do that.
And because if the bank does that, then it means that the banks are the ones stealing money from people.
All right, then. This is where we draw the curtains. I can't believe I've done this for 365 days. Except for the 5 days that I went away on vacation, and it was even a working vacation, as a matter of fact. Well, I must say a very big thank you to you, Prince Francis Chilaka. Now that you are in my net, you can only run, but you cannot hide. Thank you for closing this year for me. And please, I hope that we can do this some other time.
Well, we hope so.
I appreciate your presence. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And to you, my viewers, that stood with me for 365 days on Political Lens, I say a very big thank you to you. We will not stop. We'll continue this from next year. And when I say next year, I'm even talking about tomorrow. I'll see you again tomorrow, 6 o'clock on Political Lens. Now, on behalf of the backroom staff, technical director, the bus manager, the sound engineer, and the ingest manager, I am Chukwuma Okoro. Up next is Issues with Nena Ndemjoto. I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll see you again next year, 8 o'clock on the morning show. Bye for now, and enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're going for crossover, stay away from bangers, fireworks, and all of that. They could be deadly. Something happened in Anambra State and took away some lives, like 2 lives and several people injured. And if you are the one throwing banger, or knockout, or fireworks, please desist from that, because as I speak with you, the Nigerian police force still has a permanent ban on the use of fireworks. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you next year, and bye for now.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOPTV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOPTV, Voice of the People Television.
My name is Esther. They call me the Oga of them are the general overseer of them all. Every man, every woman has got a voice where integrity is the volume. So this is Voice of the People's TV. Voice of the People's TV. So this is the people's voice. And the people's voice is the voice of God. That's the voice populi in Latin. The people's voice is the voice of God. So keep watching Voice of the People. In fact, my name is Voice of the People. Keep watching MC Adobe King.
Hi guys, my name is Kagan. I am Nigeria's biggest tech content creator, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Voice of the People TV. Keep watching, enjoy, and you're welcome.
My name is Naim Salamano. They say they call me Enjoyment Landlord. It's VOP TV. Keep watching VOP TV. Don't touch it down. Even if you want to touch it down, increase the volume. If you don't increase the volume, I told me.
My name is Collins Agawabe, popularly known as No Maiden, but last, more than No Maiden, or more. Not be all so the cook right at the fry plantain. We keep on watching VOP TV. The voice of the people, the voice of Edo. If you now want to get the authentic news for Edo, the way it be, that's why they show and all they cut anything come on. At VOP TV.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I.